Before I start this episode, I just wanted to show you this adorable picture of my baby cousin with her Wentz jersey on. I don't think the Eagles are going to win any time in her lifetime, and she's set up for a sea of misery. You know what? The Eagles could do better in the future. I don't know. Maybe they could win a couple of Super Bowls in her lifetime. Maybe one, maybe none at all. Now let's get back to the regular scheduled program. I'm a disgruntled Eagles fan, and we're awesome. Hey Disgruntled, this individual game was the reason why I didn't delete my YouTube channel after we won the Super Bowl. This game was the reason why I didn't change my YouTube name to the Gruntled Eagles fan. This game was so frustrating. You know, my weekend wasn't going that well after Penn State lost to a heartbreaking game against Ohio State. But you know what? I was looking forward to this game, to the Eagles game the next day, and I was hoping that we would win. But they decided to lose an awful game. They should have won this game because they were up 14 points. Up 14! Going midway through the third, we should have blown these guys out. We let loose way too much. Let's talk about Mills. Mills sucked for this game. He sucked. The receiver that was going up was Davis. Davis had about 9 receptions, 150 yards, and I think a touchdown. This game alone, he had 9 receptions, 160 yards, and a touchdown. That's unreasonably bad. He is hot garbage, and he shouldn't be playing at the cornerback right now. You know, I was actually riding high on him last year, but I think that was muffled by how good we were doing on defense. I mean the defensive line, and he was able to make those plays. But now our defensive line isn't making those plays, and he's getting burned. Because offenses just started realizing how bad he is and are actually throwing his way. Our defensive line was actually getting to Mariota somewhat. That still didn't stop him throwing it to Jalen Mills' ways. Now let's talk about the ending of this game. The ending of this game was atrocious. The ending, I mean the overtime. We had so many opportunities of stopping the Titans from going down and scoring a touchdown. But no. Our secondary and our defense have to lay a goose egg and completely stop playing altogether. I mean, they had a 4th and 15, a 3rd and 19. They had 2 other 4th down plays after the 4th and 15 that they could have stopped them on. And a 3rd and goal, which was actually a 3rd and 10. But the Titans still managed to find a way to get it into the end zone. Our defense needed to make a stop, and they did it. And this really frustrates me. Maybe I was spoiled a little bit about last year. Maybe we all were. This game cannot happen. Our offensive line wasn't there at all this game. They just didn't show up. They're supposed to be one of the best offensive lines in the entire league. But I just didn't see it this game. The Titans rush was getting to Wentz all the time throughout the game. Left and right. All I saw was defensive players in his face, and he didn't have time at all to throw. And when he did throw the ball with little pressure, he did make good throws, and I was actually excited to see that. Especially the one to Jeffrey in the touchdown. That was an amazing play. If the offensive line would have just held the defensive backs a few more times throughout the game, we might have still won. Carson Wentz was hit and sacked a crap ton during this game, and that worried me because of his knee. He cannot be getting hit these many times throughout a game. He got hit a crap ton against the Colts. This is just frustrating to see. We're nowhere close to what we were last year. We're looking like ourselves from the Doug's first year when we went 7-9. Now let's talk about how many times Carson Wentz threw the ball. He threw the ball 50 times, and we only ran it 20 times. The play calls was unbelievably one-sided, and they cannot be called that way in future games. They need to be more balanced. We had a decent running game. We rushed over 100 yards in this game. I don't know why we stopped running the ball with Jay Ajayi and Wendell Smallwood. We just completely stopped running the ball, and we completely relied on Carson Wentz throwing the ball. The areas where I was actually impressed was with Zach Ertz and Alshon Jeffrey. Alshon Jeffrey made an awesome comeback game. I was really impressed with him. And Zach Ertz was as reliable as ever. The defense didn't show up at all in the second half. They showed up some in the first half. Ronald Darby and Jalen Mills was playing off freaking like 50 yards off the receiver from when the play started and had absolutely no chance of even attempting to intercept the ball or knock it away when thrown to the receiver that they were covering. This is unacceptable, and if we want to win games in the future, we have to play tighter. Doug Peterson's play calls were absolutely atrocious after the Alshon Jeffries touchdown. He had no clue what he was doing, replaying the same old plays that weren't working in the beginning of the half and absolutely laying a goose egg in the overtime. I mean, the end of the fourth quarter, when we were going up and trying to get a touchdown or at least tie it, he absolutely just stopped playing good play calls. Why would you throw 2 fades to the end zone when you had a 3rd and 4, a manageable 3rd down where you could have easily just thrown a slant or tried a simple pass play to get the first down? But no, he was going for it all and for the touchdown. He was going for the field goal to tie it up and put it in overtime. Even after we got the ball, we drove down the field, and he still wasn't playing to win. He was playing to get the field goal. Why would you run Jay Ajayi on 3rd and 4 when it's overtime and all you need is a touchdown and they were within 10 yards of getting a touchdown? Why would you run Jay Ajayi on a 3rd and 4? Why wouldn't you just put Carson Wentz like you've been doing all game long? Put him in a shotgun or something, throw a short slant or a short pass so that the Eagles wide receivers had a chance of catching it for the first down or for the touchdown or for, at very least, the first down. I'm tired of the Eagles playing for field goals. I want them to go for touchdowns all the time. The Eagles didn't have the same motivation as they did last year. I feel like they have given up, or somewhat given up, throughout this game. Now, I'm not saying that all of them do, and I'm not saying that they are actually giving up, but it seems like the lack of motivation during the game is very slim. They aren't trying as hard to actually win. I know that's a very bold statement, but what else can I say? They looked like hot garbage this game. And they still could have easily won if they put up a few more points. If Jim Schwartz will actually put some defensive plays together and actually stop the Titans in the second half during late in this game, then we could have won. We had this game in our hands, but we let the Titans score 14 unanswered points to take the lead. This is just unbelievable, and I'm tired of this. I hope that Jalen Mills gets benched so that he gets a brutal awakening, because I want him to play way better. I think we all do. Now let's get to Aguilar. He's been looking like his first few years in the league, or a couple. He was dropping balls left and right at crucial moments. He only had a few catches, not even a few catches, he only had a couple catches in this game. I don't want him to fall back in his old slump. I want him to have confidence. I don't want this game to lower his confidence at all. I just hope he gets into rhythm again against the Vikings this upcoming game. And for Jordy Matthews, that bomb to him was freaking awesome. Perfect timing by Wentz and everything. And the offensive line was blocking that play too. That's what we need to do to have the perfect game plan. That play summed it up. Good blocking on offensive line. Wentz had time. Jordy Matthews was allowed to have time to actually run down and do the play that he was assigned. That was a very good play call. But then we just stunk it up the rest. At the beginning of the season, I had high hopes that we would do well. Maybe I was overconfident because of the Super Bowl, and I was still high on that ride. I said that we were going 14-2, and I stand with it the past couple of games. But now I'm leaning toward 11-5 and or 10-6. If we keep playing like we are, we're not going to even make it to the playoff. But if we find some rhythm and actually start playing like we're supposed to, then I believe that we can go far. We just need to find out what the heck we're doing wrong. Well, actually point out what we're doing wrong, but we need to actually fix those little mistakes. The penalties need to stop. We were doing excellent the first half, and that's how we actually got a half-decent lead going. And then once the penalty started to mount up, that's when the Titans scored 14 points. This needs to not happen. If this doesn't happen throughout the season, I mean with the penalties and little mistakes, and our offensive line actually shows up through future games, then I believe that we can go far. And we can make 11-5 and or 10-6 and make it to a half-decent playoff run. But if we don't do this, then we're going to do really awful. If we keep playing like we are, I see us going 4-12 or 5-11. But if I think that we're going to find ourselves in the next few games and actually beat some good teams. And I believe that we can get some stuff together and build a great and compact team. I just want to say something before I exit off. Sorry I didn't post a reaction video yesterday. We just didn't go anywhere for the game. It was just me and my dad, and that would have been a boring reaction. And thanks for watching.